Andre de Ruyter has had the support of the ANC, while the EFF has labelled his appointment as anti-transformation. Let's discuss the appointment and the impact it will have on the governance at the embattled utility with governance and anti-corruption consultant Peter Goss. Peter, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. I guess the obvious question is, what do you think about this appointment?
I think it's one that shouldn't be judged on demographic backgrounds alone. I think it should be judged on merit and demerit. I think that the challenge for a pure businessman walking into Eskom to lead is whether this person has the capacity and emotional intelligence to navigate the political landscape. Eskom is highly politicized, and there are political stakeholders that have a very keen interest on developments around Eskom, notwithstanding trade unions, etc. So I think he'll be faced with an unrivaled new arena. One of his number one challenges to me is how he navigates his board of directors. Number one, in my opinion, is for him to set the tone very early on that there's a new chief on the block, the chief executive officer for this huge state-owned company. And he should be very clear with his board as to what support he expects and what support he doesn't expect. In other words, that they should back off at the appropriate time and let the CEO lead the business.
Now, of course, the argument is that this is a smack in the face of transformation when it comes to the appointment of black people to top jobs, especially at SOEs. But let's talk about the qualifications, because outside of that, some are arguing that Andre de Ruyter is not qualified for this position.
At face value, the man has degrees, legal and MBA. So at face value, that's not the most unique kind of qualifications. Eskom, arguably, some would say, should have an engineer stroke business qualified type of person. This is a legal stroke MBA, business qualified type of person. I don't think qualifications are the essence of a good chief executive officer. I do, however, believe that knowledge, skills and experience for leadership in a state-owned company is critical. And more importantly, the ability to navigate the vagueness of the shareholder and stakeholder universe. You see, when you work for a private company, it's very clear to you who the shareholders are. It's very clear to you that your priorities are to shareholders. When you're dealing with a state-owned company, your priorities are actually to a very wide range of stakeholders. And that's the challenge for a corporate backgrounded person walking into this environment, notwithstanding the Achilles heel of perceptions around racial appropriateness. I don't think one should feed that point of race into this matter. I think one should feed competency into this matter. As to whether there may have been other competent people around who could fulfill this role of any particular racial background, I have no doubt about that. I don't think that this individual is so uniquely qualified that others could not have the credentials, but it's not a racial argument to me, it's a competency argument, and he'll prove himself over the short to medium term. I don't think he's going to have a year to settle down and prove himself. I think he's going to have to hit the ground running in the new year when he walks into the job after having a good holiday season, and that might be a very tough start to the new year for him.
So let's talk about the experience in energy, which he doesn't have, because some would argue that there were engineers within Eskom with years of experience that could have been appointed because they better understand how the power utility should operate efficiently.
Well, I'd say that the gentleman does have experience in energy, oil and gas as a form of energy. However, energy in the context of Eskom is somewhat different to, for example, a Sasol environment. So having headed certain operations at Sasol would hold him in good stead to look after the Eskom environment. And heads of operations generally tend to be very functionally good leaders. So I think one shouldn't underestimate that this is a person who's got some track record that can be leveraged for the Eskom context. I really think that the proof of it putting here is going to be in the navigation of the dynamics of a state-owned company, not the dynamics of how to lead a business. I suspect that this gentleman has got the ability to lead a business. If you look at being CEO of major organizations, a major organization, and being a group executive of a major organization in the energy environment, particularly oil and gas, I think there are strong credentials there. I think that the challenge with Eskom, for me, is not a technical one. The challenge in Eskom for me is a political one, is a corporate governance one, is one of interference, and one of vested interests. And this is a tough arena to navigate.
Thank you so much for your time and your insight. We appreciate it. That was governance and anti-corruption consultant Peter Goss.